it's John here. Welcome back to another, I guess it's a tutorial video. And we're going to be talking about the 40 top items for new people joining the game of Minecraft. What you shouldn't do. The first thing for everybody coming into the game, if you're going to create a new world, give it a name. Name it whatever you want to name it. Let's play something, right? Otherwise, you're going to have like a bunch of new worlds. You're never going to know what's what. The first thing you need to do when you first get into the game of Minecraft, you need to punch wood. Don't do that. Don't leave a tree floating. I know you only need a couple pieces of wood to get started, but just finish the job. Unless this is your very, very first night, don't build this. I understand if you've got to survive the very first night, you build a dirt hut. Almost everybody builds something or digs a hole in the ground or something. Don't build a dirt hut. There's really no need for it. There are so many other materials. In one day of Minecraft, your very, very first day of Minecraft, you can easily get enough wood to build yourself something reasonably decent looking without building this. Now, if you have a bed and you have this, we can't be friends. But then if you do build something like this, still don't. Give me at least 3 blocks high. This 2 blocks nonsense is silly. It looks like you're scraping your head as you're walking along here, and it's barely tall enough to house you. Ever been in a room that's so low that your head hits? I have, and I'm not very tall, and it's very claustrophobic, and it feels the same in game. If you do build this for your very first night, and you need to put windows in because you want to see outside, do not leave them open like this. Baby zombies can easily walk in there. At least grab some wood, make some half slabs, and put half slabs in the windows like this, or put fence posts in the windows like this. Either way, that's fine. It keeps mobs out. After your first night and you walk away from this catastrophe of a house, you build yourself a wooden house. Something like, don't do this either. If you're going to take the time to build a house, again, if it's the very first thing you want to build and you want to add on to it, that's fine. But look at this. It's just a big old block. We'll go over building in just a little bit. And then when you do build a house, change the carpet, put wood floors in, stone floors, put carpet in. I don't care. It doesn't make a difference. Do not leave the grass. When you do build a house and you build on an edge like this, fix that. There's 2 ways to fix this. It's really easy, but that looks so clumsy, like the house is going to freaking collapse on itself. There's no way that looks sturdy. It just looks bad. And replace it like this and make it look like the house goes all the way down, and that looks fantastic. Or hide it with some of the dirt block or whatever is around it. If it happens to be sand, some sand around it, and that makes it look like it's sitting on a foundation as opposed to on a cliff and it's going to fall off. If you're going to build yourself a nice looking house, give it some dimension. By simply popping out some of the features of the house, it gives it a lot more dimension. It makes it look a lot more finished. And when you build a roof, make sure it has overhangs. But when you finish having overhangs, make sure you finish the overhangs. Look at this. Look how incomplete that looks. And by simply adding some of these underneath bits, look how finished that looks. It looks so much more complete. And then when you're on the edges here too, make sure the roof doesn't just terminate and it goes straight flat. Make sure you have it come all the way out. Don't use expensive materials to build your house. Even if you're in creative, if you're going to play in creative, don't do this. Nothing of this looks good. I do notice that it's mostly little kids that love to build out of these colorful things because they are colorful. Use concrete. Another thing I see a lot of people doing is this. They dig and 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 they die. Don't dig straight down. It's silly. You never know what's underneath you. Speaking of digging and mining and stuff, look at this. When you chop down the whole tree, you get materials. This is fantastic. When you go mining, do not go mining in a cave. Unless your cave looks like this, where you can get surface materials, that's fantastic. It's also very rare. Dig a hole. If you dig a hole at an angle, 1 block at a time down, it's a lot easier to dig, and you don't have to worry so much about mobs because you're controlling the cave. You're building the cave as you go down to level 12 for diamonds or however deep you want to go. If you can build a fence around this while you go down so something doesn't chase you in, if it becomes nighttime while you're digging, also better. When you do dig down like this, don't dig just the bare minimum, which is 3 blocks to get through. Look at this. I'm hitting my head the whole way down and then getting back up. also takes for freaking ever. If you build a tunnel like this to go down to mining, I will not join you to go mining. Go at least 5 blocks. 5 blocks high gives you the ability to run down as far as you can. And while you're mining, you're going to be collecting a lot of cobblestone. When you're down at the bottom, make yourself a ton of stairs and place stairs going back up. So that way you can just run back up as opposed to hopping 1 block at a time. So once you get to level 12, you want to go strip mining. Strip mining is really easy. I usually dig a main tunnel, usually 3 blocks high and 2 blocks wide. That gives me a nice amount of clearance. 1, it doesn't make it feel so claustrophobic. And 2, you get a lot more visual on the 3rd block up because sometimes 2 blocks is just not enough and you miss a lot of really good materials. Then I pick a location, start digging 1 block by 3 blocks high, and I go down. I usually go about 4 or 5 torches worth. I guess that's what you want to call it. It takes me about halfway through my iron pickaxe. When I get to the halfway point, I turn, I dig 2, 3 more blocks, and I go back. As long as the other side is exposed at the same location, you pop right back on through, and you keep on doing this over and over again. The reason why you do this is because you can see this side of the block and you can see this side of the block, so you don't miss any blocks in this whole general area right here. Yeah, there is no perfect way of mining, but this isn't it. This takes a really long time. It's a waste of resources, a waste of time, and all you're doing is punching through. And it just feels so claustrophobic, it makes me not want to mine any longer than I have to. When you're strip mining, it's a lot more efficient and you get to see all the material without destroying the entire area. And don't forget to light up the area. If you do something like this, or even if you're strip mining, don't forget to light it up. Mobs will chase you back out. If you run across a cluster like this, where you see diamonds, mine around them. Go all the way around, up and down, all the way through. Don't mine a single one yet. Just make sure that it's all nice and clear and then remove the diamonds. You're making sure of 2 things. 1, that there's no cave underneath you. You're going to lose a diamond. 2, you're going to have to go chase that diamond. And 2, make sure that there's no lava underneath you. I've had that happen numerous times where you mine a diamond and underneath it is direct lava and you lose the diamond. And that sucks because it's really rare to find this stuff. So I always tend to get prepared, sometimes a little too over prepared when I go mining. I always bring these items with me. You don't have to bring any furnaces with you because you can use the cobblestone around you to get the furnaces or build the furnaces. But I always bring these items with me. I always bring some planks of wood. A stack is always nice. Some coal. You'll find more coal while you're mining, so you don't need a ton of it, but you do need some food. And I usually bring about a stack of torches. You only need about a half a stack to get started, but a stack is always preferable. Other thing I always bring with me is a bed. Look at the glitching on this update. Whoa, look at that. Look at the glitch. I always bring a bed with me. I always bring a crafting table with me, and I always bring some chests with me because this right here is going to be about almost a stack. It's like 48 pieces of wood to begin with, but this is only 6 chests. So I'm going to bring up a decent amount of chests because you want to dump all the excess material up here, other than like maybe gravel. Gravel you might want to keep so you can turn it into concrete later on. But the rest of the stuff, honestly, it's pretty useless unless you're going to build something out of cobblestone, but at least you have a place to store it all and come back to it at a later time. And there's absolutely nothing like it when you go down and you find yourself some gold or redstone or anything else, and you start mining it with the wrong pickaxe. You get nothing. Make sure you have the proper pickaxe. Speaking of wrong tools, I love watching people do this. It's so frustrating. Grab the right tool. This is so much faster. When I see somebody trying to dig dirt with a hoe as opposed to a shovel, it's ridiculous. It drives me absolutely nuts. I see people using all kinds of wrong tools to do the wrong job when it's so much quicker to use the right tools for the right job. There's a reason why they made all these. And when you do go mining, you end up finding, especially like the hills biomes, for the most part, you do find a lot of gold, which are really, really nice. Don't waste it on this. I know there's a lot of people that argue that they love gold armor and they love gold tools. They don't last for nothing. I mean, they have their durability is utter garbage. Same with the armor. Yes, it looks okay, I suppose. It looks like margarine. But the really only reason you use gold is for golden carrots and golden apples. The only other reason you would use gold, and I gather a lot of it for this purpose, is to make a powered beacon. And that's late game. That's later on after you defeat a wither boss. You get the nether star, and you can make yourself a beacon, and then you can power it with gold blocks so you don't waste any of your precious iron, which I feel is far superior to this trash. When it comes to nighttime, you have to light up your base, right? So I always like to light up around my base. Don't do this. I don't know how many servers I've been on, other people's, worlds that I've been on, either on Xbox or on PC, and they light up their ground like this. Just torches freaking everywhere. It is so god-awful frustrating and so ugly. I mean, I get it. You don't want mobs to spawn, but there are so many other alternatives. With a single iron ingot, you can make these wonderful things called lanterns now in the updated version of the game. And they look super, super nice. I absolutely love them. I like lighting everything up with these. Now, if you can't afford these, if you don't have any iron to spend, you can put the torches simply on top of those, and they still look really, really good. I mean, anything looks better than what you have there. Even with this, if you put the torches on the walls over here, they look good. And for not much material at all, you can build yourself a campfire, and this lights up, I believe it's like a 15 by 15 area. One of my favorite blocks when it comes to developing a village and whatnot are these pathways, right? When they introduced the shovel and the shovel to create pathways, it made life so nice to create this, because I was just placing down blocks of wood to make my pathways, and this made life a lot easier, and it looks so good. I mean, look at this. It is so attractive looking. But you have to remember, it's not a full block. When you do this, you get this on the other side. You get to see a little crack of what's on the other side. And there is an easy fix to that, especially when you're doing stairs like this. Look at that. That is god-awful ugly. Grab either some stairs or some more dirt, and you can fix this by simply going like this and putting a block in there. Look at that. I can break the block even without breaking the other two blocks, by simply removing that. You can even do better yet when it comes to stairs and literally place some stairs down. Unless it's right here. If it's at the very, very edge and you have a block there, you do have to remove that and place a block of dirt there. Otherwise, it looks really, really goofy. But when it comes to edges like this, if your pathway is along an edge, make sure you also remove those stone blocks and replace them with dirt or whatever material is up there. When going exploring, if you're going to go off and find some villages or you're going to look for temples or whatnot, make sure your inventory doesn't look like this. This is terrible. When you're repairing tools, this is a big one too. If you're going to repair tools, you would place the iron pick in there. A lot of people will just take the 3 iron ingots and you get yourself a repair tool. Kind of. It costs you 3 enchantment levels and you don't get a full repair tool. So if you remove that and you add 2 sticks to those 3 pieces of iron, you get yourself a fully repaired tool, and it's cheaper. And the only reason to ever repair a tool is if it's enchanted. So this one I'm pretty guilty of pretty regularly. I can't seem to figure out why I'm never prepared to enchant anything ever. I always have to go run back and go through my inventory and go find some lapis. I always seem to have a lack of lapis. So now I've been regularly practicing the fact of placing a chest nearby somewhere and putting some lapis in there. And every time I find lapis, I throw it back in there to make sure I always have lapis. My absolute favorite enchantment of all enchantments is mending. I place that on pretty much everything I own, unless you have a bow. Don't put mending on a bow. I mean, unless you have extra mending books to put on the bow, sure, there's really no need. Use infinity. Always use infinity. And if you happen to have a tool that has an enchantment on it that you don't want, you can remove it. Don't use a grindstone unless you're ready to remove that. Do not repair an item in a grindstone unless you're ready to remove that enchantment. It disenchants things. When it does repair them, it does take away for the enchantment. If you're making potions, never just make one. Blaze powder is expensive. And if you're going to go ahead and make a potion, even if you only need 1, make 3. Just make 3. And when you do make a potion, a brewing area, something along these lines, you can make yourself an infinite water supply. It's really, really important to do so. You go 3 blocks wide, place down a half slab there so you don't pull any water from it. And then you can grab as much water as you want to from the center. Or you can go with a traditional 2x2. You can grab water from any one of the corners here. If you're building yourself another portal, you only need 10 pieces of obsidian. You don't need to put some on the corners. You can put whatever the heck you want on the corners. Before going to the nether, just in case a ghast does shoot at you, have yourself a extra flint and steel. When you do go into the nether, your initial nether portal, look at this, is in a really poor location. There was actually lava that was open when I first walked in. I had to close that up. Move the nether portal, dig it up, and move it somewhere else. I always move mine to an area that's a lot more flat and something like this, and then I build a structure around it made out of cobblestone. Reason why cobblestone is because gas can't destroy it. All this other purple stuff around here is all destructible by gas. And where you can, if there is an edge, put walls up or blocks up or something, because if you get blasted back, you're not going to pop up and over this and fall into a pit of lava. Every single time I go to the nether, I always bring this stack of stuff with me. Either 3 or more stacks of cobblestone, just so I can build this house. Bring yourself some iron so you can make new tools in case you're going to be there for a while. A chest, a furnace, a crafting table, some wood to make more tools if you need to, a door, a single fence, some food. Things not to bring to the nether. It's a bed and some water, because this is what happens to water. Nothing. That happens. Luckily, we're in creative, but you get a big old boom. I mean, that's one way to destroy something if you really wanted to blow something up. Secondly, if you want to build pathways like to that nether portal, right, or the nether fortress right there, I don't know if you can see this ginormous nether fortress over here, build pathways out of cobblestone. Also, I forgot to mention, when you do move your nether portal, don't move it too far. If it's more than 8 blocks away, it's going to bring you really, really far away from your original nether portal. You want it to stay within 8 blocks from where that nether portal is. You also want to block another portal when you come back through it with cobblestone, so you don't get some random mobs coming in from the nether. Once you have a bed and you have other sources of food, there is zero reason to kill these guys. None at all. When you kill a sheep, you get 1 wool. And yes, you get a mutton, but there are better sources of food than mutton. If you use shears, you get twice, if not 3 times as much wool as you would from just killing the poor thing. Melons are fantastic. I love eating them. Not really. Nope, I don't. I hate eating melons. These are the foods you should not eat. Not that they're bad for you. If this is all you have, by all means, eat this food. If you eat this stuff, you're going to be eating constantly. Always a baked potato. It lasts much longer. Don't eat rotten flesh. If you're eating rotten flesh, I don't even know what to do with you. These are the foods you should be eating when building redstone contraptions. I am not good at redstone at all. I'm not very good at it at all. But the one thing I do know about redstone contraptions, do not build them on dirt. It doesn't look good. There's no way to map it out. And an Enderman is going to walk by, pick up that block, and ruin your redstone contraption in no time at all. Lastly, if you are watching a tutorial, if you see in the comments that it doesn't work like from years ago, then you'll know that it's something that had been fixed or changed in the game. If it's something that you're the first one to notice, be nice and just message something in the comment section saying, you know what, I don't think this works anymore, or can someone help me? Everybody puts a lot of work and effort into making tutorial videos or YouTube videos in general, and no one likes to see somebody slamming them for saying this is fake, or this doesn't work, or this is lame. No one likes to read that. Anyways, dudes, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, please give me a big old fat thumbs up down below. It's greatly appreciated. And if you're at all new to this channel, if you guys can click that subscribe button, it does help the channel out a great deal. And while you're at it, if you click that little bell, it turns on notifications and it lets you dudes and dudettes out there know when we upload our videos. And until next time, guys, see ya.